Malton.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance. We all know that Ontario families pay the highest auto insurance in the country. But what we don't know is in 2010, the government promised reforms that would make auto insurance more affordable. Now, the rates keep rising instead. Can the minister tell us where all the savings went?
Mr. Finance.
Mr. Speaker, the member opposite neglected to mention in his question that in the first quarter of this year, auto insurance rates declined. Again, Mr. Speaker, I know he didn't say that. He neglected to say that the rate of increase in auto insurance premiums under this government, Mr. Speaker, is lower, much lower than the previous government and much lower than the government before that, Mr. Speaker. There is always more to do, Mr. Speaker. We have our task force on fraud, which we are looking forward to getting their report back on so that we can better manage all insurance costs, Mr. Speaker. There's always more to do. Our record speaks for itself. Rates have come down or grown, Mr. Speaker, at a lower rate than inflation and certainly much lower than they did under previous governments of all political stripes.
Supplementary.
Mr. Speaker, what the minister fails to acknowledge is that over the past 9 years of Liberal rule, the insurance rates have gone up by 26%, and in fact, the reduction that the minister is talking about was 0.18%, not even 0.2% of a reduction. A document obtained from Fisco, the government agency that regulates auto insurance, has some startling news. In 2010, it cost the insurance industry $765 per vehicle to cover the cost of accident benefits. But after the government's dramatic statutory accident benefit cut, costs fell dramatically to $300 per vehicle. Now, the cost of doing business went down, but the product keeps increasing in terms of its cost. Can the minister explain why drivers are paying more than ever and how that's a success story?
Question. Minister.
In fact, Mr. Speaker, the rate of increase in insurance has been the lowest under any government. The member opposite and the NDP have brought forward a plan. They want to emulate California, Mr. Speaker. They want to have the highest insurance premiums, Mr. Speaker, on average in North America. Mr. Speaker, they want people in Northern Ontario with good driving records to subsidize people in the Greater Toronto area who have bad driving records, Mr. Speaker. They don't want to listen to Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, Mr. Speaker. They don't want to listen, Mr. Speaker, to the Ontario Provincial Police Association. They don't want to listen to a variety of other stakeholders who have rejected their sky-high auto insurance bill, Mr. Speaker, which will leave families right across the province paying more while you subsidize people whose driving records are bad. We simply don't agree. Our record speaks for itself. And, Mr. Speaker, we're going to continue to work to keep auto insurance premiums down for all Ontarians.
Mr. Speaker, I agree with the Minister of Finance. The Liberal government's record speaks for itself. The highest auto insurance rates in the country, an increase of 26% while they were in rule. The record speaks for itself. Now, insurance firms making record profits have seen their medical costs go down by 50%. But drivers' rates are still going up, year after year. Is the minister ready to admit that his reforms have been a bust and work with us to make a real plan to make driving insurance more affordable here in Ontario?